Hi, my friend. How are you? This is Pat Sloan, and we don't normally see a blank wall, but that's because it's the last day of Christmas time, and I did a bonus border for you. But I don't want to show you yet. I'm going to sneak peek it in with some close-ups and some other details and things. But before we do that, today is Spread Joy Day. And I think for the end of the Christmas time so along, spreading joy is an amazing thing to do. So today I hope you go out and spread a little joy, whether you just tell somebody they look fabulous, buy them a coffee, hold the door open, spread a little joy. All right, let's dive into Christmas time with a bonus border. So here's how I approached the colors on this one. You'll take a look back. I did red, green for the square triangles. I just thought that would be cute and easier. So there's red, green, and the whole way around. Now I did the sides. So there you go. The sides, and then the bottoms and the top, the bottom and top one has the cornerstone on it. So there, it fell down. Of course it fell down while I'm filming. There we go. Oh, let's see if I can get it to stick up there. And I tried very hard to not, there we go. I tried very hard to space them so that I didn't have the same pattern with this. So these are two different patterns, and I tried not to have the green to the green. You see here I've got the same pattern, red to green, but that was a little tough. But like over here, you know, they're all four different patterns. So I tried to space those around and work them that way. So I'm going to, these will get sewn on right now, and then I'm going to take the light pink and make a tiny little outer border around this, because this is going to end up hanging in my kitchen like the Boo Crew one is. So it's going to hang here, and it is just like an inch narrower. It's about the same length, about an inch narrower, but I'll put that little pink around it and it'll work out great. I have a little tip or how I do this so that I can cut off as few points as possible as I'm going through here. So I am sewing from the point side, from the patchwork side, not from this strip side, this little outer border, because I can't see the points when I sew this way. So that'll go underneath, and I will pin so that I can see on the top. And do you like to watch people pin things together? I'll give you a little bit of that here for Vlogtober. Is this something you'd want to see all the time, watching me pin? Because you know it takes a little while, and I don't really want to do fast forward stuff. I'd rather just give information or talk. But of course, I guess I could find a topic and just talk while I'm pinning. I'm on the shorter side. Also, if I get to things like this, there's a little string. I don't want that laying behind here, because if I miss it when I clean up the back before I send it to be quilted, this could shadow through to the front, because you would see that possibly, most likely, behind this pink fabric, and definitely if you were using white fabric or something like that. So you want to be careful, because your back strip is skinny. So I always want to be sure that don't have it slide. So sometimes it can start to slide on you if you're sort of doing this and not paying attention. You're not on your A game for the entire time you're pinning. I know how that goes. Your mind starts to do other things. It starts to think about maybe what you're going to have for lunch, or what you're going to have for dinner, or who you need to call, or that email you need to send. So just be sure you're always kind of matching, and be sure you don't have any slippage on the back side. So now this will be, I'm going to sew this down because that's what we quilters do. And then I'll show you the full top after it's done. So sometimes parts need a little extra pressure. So I don't know, that corner was bulky. So what I did is I just put the clapper on top, warmed it up. So the clapper is going to, bring the heat out. There's a whole great video on Bernadette's channel, who's a sewing person, about using the clappers. And she had a lady named Barbara on who gave expert advice on why and how to do expert work. So that's going to just sit there a second because I'm going to let it cool. I'm not going to take it off while it's warm. I don't want anything to be warm when it's done. That was a sort of junction that was a little bit tougher. So like it's this one here. So for some reason on that one, I don't know, maybe the backside got folded over a little bit, so it was a little bit more bulky, and I just wanted to get it flat before I put that little outer border on. So I ran out of bobbin, but I made it all the way to the end of that section, you know, and let's see how much was actually still on here, because I just kept going and it kept, you know, stopping and reminding me I was going to be out of bobbin. So there's some on there, not a ton, but enough that I could do, I could do a little bit more seam. I don't think I could do the whole other side with that, so I've got to go ahead and wind a bobbin. Do you wind your bobbins in advance? Do you have like a whole bunch of them? I had some other colors up here, but I don't have any more of this color. So the white, I'm just sewing with white today, so I've got to wind, I think I'll wind 2 bobbins. So the last border is on, and I've got the pins in there still because as a habit from years ago, the pins come to the insides, the heads are to the inside, and so often I am taking the pins out at the end. So I find it very satisfying to go ahead and just pull all the pins out. I don't know why. I use this magnetic pin bowl. Of course, it has to be a cute one, because I just like to throw them in there. I don't want to have to stick them in something. This just works for me. And ta-da! Okay, I'm going to press this and reveal. So here it is. I am so thrilled, just thrilled. I loved designing this little border. I thought it turned out super cute, and the size of it, like I said, will go in my kitchen. So it is going to be a perfect size for in there. And I have red snowflake fabric. This candy here, I have that for the binding and probably enough for the backing, or to at least piece the backing with some of the other fabrics. So let me decorate the design wall for you. Oh, look at that, the angels sing. Ah. I can't sing, but I will someday. Maybe I'll take singing lessons. Maybe I'll learn how to sing. I never learned how to do that. Okay, a couple other announcements, and then we'll have our Vlogtober day 2. But first, I've got an announcement for the Virginia Quilt Museum. I have donated a group of quilts to the Virginia Quilt Museum for them to use as a fundraiser for the museum, and the page is ready. So you can go look at it. The auction starts on October 19th to November 9th. And there are a group of quilts, and you can bid on them, and you could own one of my quilts. And all the money will go to support the museum. And while you're there, take a look around. I hope you subscribe and become a member of the museum. That would be really wonderful to support a quilt museum. All right, and also I had another wonderful spreading of joy. Rhonda sent me this picture, and this was her guild's fundraiser to help the children of Ukraine. What they did is they made the star block that I designed, and then they sold those at their show. And so people could buy just the block and then do what they wanted with it. They could quilt it up, the quilters could, whatever. So it was a fundraiser, and they raised $500 for Unicef to help the children of Ukraine. Mwah! That is totally amazing. And I thought that was a really clever fundraiser, because I believe it was at a quilt show. So, you know, quilters are used to getting a block. So that was pretty exciting. All right. The Vlogtober for my day 2, since I'm doing 5 days of sort of behind the scenes or everyday things that I do around here. Let's go. So I took a little break the other day, did video and other stuff, and then now I want to finish this. Go to Starbucks. Thank you for all the gift cards to Starbucks. I use them. So here I need to finish this. I want to cut this stuff. I don't want this is bulky. I don't want this sitting around. So let's just do this task so that I can get it off of my list. So, here was the binding, it's basically binding on there. So I need to get rid of that stuff. I don't want that on there. Oh, and by the way, I have this sitting out that I told you about the other day because I need to do the bag, or the little basket. And I have to have this out because it was in the box under my table with the AccuQuilt on it. And I know that if it's just sitting in that box under there, I know it's on my list to do, but it's highly likely that I might all of a sudden go, I forgot all about that. So I have moved it to the table where it is totally in my way. And that is the next thing on my list. I have this short list, short of maybe 10 items, 5 items, something, that I have to do in the next few days because they're all for the sew-alongs or different stuff that just has to be done. So I'm trying to squeeze in some things here before we leave. We're going out for the evening to see a night flight over at the radio-controlled airfield, radio-controlled airplanes, the RC airplanes. They're doing a night flight, the club is, and so we're heading out to that. And it's a little bit chilly, so I've got to change clothing because I need to put on the jeans and the wool socks because I get cold. I get cold, even if it might not seem that cold, but I'm just going to be sitting. I'm not doing any flying, and I could walk around a little bit. But it'd be fun because we've met a few of the people at the club, but not, obviously not all of them, so it'd be neat to see how many show up for this. And okay, so where am I here? Getting around this. These are nice scissors. These are Kai scissors. I think they're the dressmaker's shears. I'll see if I can find them and link them below. They're heavy, so I use them not for like my everyday quilting. I tend to use it for other things. All right, so this is the construction. So it has a sort of a cheesecloth lining under the ironing board cover. Then it had a piece of really nice felt, enough felt, like fleece, like the dense fleece though. This is like the crafting fleece, not the fleece like you put on the back of your, put on the back of your quilts. Okay, so here's the little, these are really well made. I recommend these Moda ones. I'm gonna watch for a new one that I like. We'll see. We'll see if they come out with some, maybe at this trade show they might announce some. I hope so. I'll have to write them. Say, make more ironing board covers, but these are really, really nice quality. Okay, so I've also got, I'm just gonna get all of it that's usable. So this felt piece, I could save it, but I already have a lot of felt, and now that it's and I have two, I have it on the board already, so I don't need it for the board, but man, it's nice. I'm gonna ask a friend if she might want it. Who knows? People do all kinds of crafting stuff, and she may want it. All right, so now this is stuck down here still because it's got this sort of nice cup that it, worked with. All right, so that has to come off, and then I am going to sign off for this one so that I can go change and be ready to leave because I can hear Mr. Greg out there in the garage getting his stuff organized. There we go. So the cheesecloth is all off. This is not worth saving. Then I will see if my friend wants this. It's really nice quality. So I can get rid of this and the cheesecloth. And then I'll take a look at what part of this cover is not too soiled to keep, because part of it might make a cute pillow, could make a little placemat, could make a mug rug. I mean, there's parts of it that are not stained. I mean, the bottom half where I'll leave the iron a lot, and where I might have overspray, all of that's pretty gone. But okay, so there you go. Now we have that all finished. So before we're getting ready to go, I was trying to get as much of the holly done. So I ran out of the green, and I put all the little cards on a jump ring, call them jump rings, and so I need the dark green. So I'm going to get another one of those. These color works are, I like that I like them. They've got a little bit of variegation. They're also kind of like a pre-cut length, which is interesting. So, do you put these back on a certain way? Like, I can't remember which is the way it came, whether it's the knotted this way or that way, whatever. And so, and then I thought I'd show you. Over here is where I hang the I'll put it on here then, and I've been putting them on the magnet. So this nice book holder, because it's magnetic, I have the little needle minders there, and I just hang this. It's been so perfect when I'm working. This is for the support club. Do you recognize that? That's the one I picked. It's ready to be quilted. That's its binding. All right, I have to get myself ready to go out to the airfield. So, bye-bye. The airfield is just west of us. This is the remote-controlled airfield for the remote control pilot club, and so it is on a nature reserve, and you can just see how beautiful it was. It was very crisp this day. It was a Saturday. It was very, very chilly, and it got really cold by the end of the night when they were flying. But there, I just thought I'd show you just how beautiful it is. It's very peaceful. There's a lot of wonderful places to sit. And this is just like a guild. For those of you who belong to a quilt guild, this is a club, and they rent this space from the nature reserve. So, you pay dues to the club, and they maintain it totally. They're mowing it. They're putting up the fences. They're all the picnic tables. They've got a shed with all kinds of stuff in it, like the heater you see there. And it was getting dark enough now that they could start to night fly. And my camera didn't really capture that very well, but I did get a quick little photo of the gorgeous big moon. There it is. It was beautiful. So this has been super fun for me to do, just to be working on something and turn the camera on and just chat a little bit with you about it. Very, very fun. So the cross stitch for Christmas time, there is one more row. Here it is, or section, but it looks like a row underneath because this was kind of done as a row. And I am good. I can tuck it. See underneath there? So I have enough room, but it's a little close. I was down a little far and chopped off maybe a little more than I should have, but I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. It's going to fit on there. And you can download at my website today the bonus layout. So you can make a little border on your quilt if you like to make it a little bit bigger. There have been such amazing Christmas time quilts shared. Your quilts are just fantastic. All right, my friend. I love you. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone, and I will see you online.